I'm going to explain a little bit about golf clubs, and one of the things that comes up a lot is offset. Now, most of the modern clubs and game improvement clubs have a lot of offset, meaning that the leading edge of the club here is going to be offset more to the player's right. And the reason that clubs are designed that way is because most golfers are coming over the top, and that offset delays the closing of the club face, so those over-the-top strikes are not quite as bad a pull to the left. And when you get down into the hitting area here, and the club's moving, 90, 100 miles an hour, this sort of thing, it can be very critical. Now, for a good player, you don't really want to have any offset because as I'm as I'm rotating the club face from open to square, and I'm using strength and form rotation to do that, I want to be rewarded for what I've just done. So as I'm rotating and I'm squaring the club face up, I want to have the club face squaring up. If I've got offset, then it's still gonna be open, and I'm gonna miss shots to the right. So what I want to have is a golf club that has no offset, where I can rotate hard level with the torso and the form rotation, have the club face coming into the ball, hitting the back of the ball square without any offset. If I have offset in the club, then what's going to happen is I'm going to tend to over rotate, or I'm going to have a tendency to actually come over the top of the ball to try and square the club face up early. So it's critical in our clubs, if we're good players or we're working towards that, to remove the offset on the club. And it's something we do with all the gear that we set up or spec out as ABS gear here. We take the offset off the club, or as much as we can out of it, so that you can start feeling a proper release and get rewarded for your efforts as you're squaring the club face up. It's not left open and offset where you're going to have to start overcompensating too much. We want to save our pivot rotation for later in the swing. So if we've spent it too much trying to correct for offset here, coming in too open, trying to square the club or something, we don't have as much power and torso rotation for later in the swing, because the golf swing is a motion that is from start to finish. It's not just over when you hit the golf ball. You can think of the swing as a complete motion right to the finish. At some point, the ball is just in the way of that. But the more we are accelerating through the strike, the better. And by having no offset on our clubs, then we get rewarded for our strike.